see, my connection just went crazy, so hopefully you guys can hear me. What's up, fam? Welcome back to this episode of 49 Faithfullee. We're your hosts, Miriah Lee and Teran Lewis. TL, what's up? What's up? Glad to see you. Good to see you.
Yes.
Hope you had a good bye week, good break. Hope everybody out there had a great bye week. We're back to bring you some
Yeah.
49ers talk, and I agree, JDLR, good vibes.
Yep.
That's what we're all about. So, what's up? How you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. Bye week, like we had mentioned before, couldn't have came at a perfect time. Just glad that everybody's starting to come back healthy. Unfortunately, I'm sure you're gonna probably bring this up. Unfortunately, we had some terrible news about one of our corners. I feel sorry about that. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I think we're going into a good week. Hopefully, everybody's getting back healthy and we get some chemistry going so we can make a good playoff run and hopefully head into the Super Bowl and get a W as well. So
That's always the goal. Hopefully,
yeah.
we'll see how it works out. Want to say what's up to the chat. See you guys filing in here. Appreciate you guys. Throwback first in the door. Miss Cinnamon Kiss. Hey sis, hope you're doing well. Memphis Maine, JDLR, Dina, Tia, Tommy Huxley. What's up? Hope you guys are all doing great. Good to see you guys. Yeah, I mean, we can just jump right into that. Like you just brought up, obviously, the news came out this week that, um, Jason Verrett was, by all accounts, supposed to play in this game. And to have his comeback game against, his first team, the only other team he's played for besides 49ers, right? And
Hmm.
then in practice, he ends up tearing his Achilles. I think that makes that twice for the Achilles and twice for the ACL, I believe now. Um, yeah, like when that news came out, like, and still, like, I'm just totally, like, sick to my stomach for like Jason Verrett, the person, more than
Hmm.
anything. Like, the emotional and the physical toll that all that takes on your body, plus the comeback, the rehab, the all that, the grind, that it is to come back from those kinds of injuries and to finally get on the field and you're supposed to come back and another one takes you out for the entire season. Um, I know that me and you had talked about this, like, we never want to talk about, a guy's career or, like the move that, I always feel like the players, they should make obviously the best decision for them,
Sure.
like they have to think about what their life's going to be like off after life, the football life, like you would hate for a player to give everything to football and then by the time they're ready to retire they're a vegetable and can't enjoy retirement, can't enjoy life
Hmm.
off the football field, like, and anytime these guys step on the football field, like, that's something that can happen, um but man, to have just back to back to back to back injuries, like, you just have to, say, like, when is, I hate to say it, but when is enough enough? Like,
Yes.
when is he going to get tired of just, like, or when can you not do it anymore, like, physically, emotionally, like, mentally, everything, like, when can you just not do it anymore,
Hmm.
um what are your thoughts on the whole, like, it just, I don't know, it's sick. It
Yeah,
has me.
it sucks, man. You know, I couldn't have said what you just said any better than what you articulated, but it just sucks. I mean, he's been I feel like he's been hurt probably the majority of his career. Like he started off so good with the Chargers. I don't know if they drafted him in 2014, 2015. I can't remember. But I remember when he was eligible for coming out of the draft, he's one of the corners I wanted, because we've been so terrible at that position for a long time. And I saw him, I saw actually watched him when he was in college and he was a dog out there, and he's like a valley guy. Originally I'm from California, growing up in the Central Valley area, and he grew up, I think, like up north more, like towards the Sacramento area. But yeah, I mean, I thought the kid was gonna come back. I know we saw him a couple weeks ago, and we're watching him run on the field, and we're like, no, I don't think he's ready yet. He doesn't look good. Like You had
Yeah.
pointed that out a few times. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't look like he's ready. And you're right. Like, I never want to sit there and tell somebody, a grown man what to do with his career. If he has some dog in the fight where he feels like he's not done yet and he still wants to come back and prove something, then so be it. I'll ride for him, be happy for him. I don't think it'll be on this team though, unfortunately. I think, he's probably
Yeah.
going to be let go and he'll probably end up going somewhere else. But, if he does decide to do that, more power to him. But like you said, when is enough enough? When does it come to a point where just like, I'm sick of these injuries? And I think you're right. I think it's two Achilles, two ACLs, or maybe two Achilles and three ACLs. I could be wrong, but it's been so much in his career that, maybe it's time. I don't know if he has a family, but like maybe it's time. And he's so young still too. He's barely like 30, I think. Like he's, still a young guy. So, if he has the ability, if he, like I said, if he has a family, well, just go home, enjoy the family, if that's what the case may be. And if you really feel like you're gonna miss the game, you're good enough where somebody will hire you as like a DB coach. Like you're a Pro Bowler, you're intelligent. I mean, you know what it takes to be out there, whether it's in a college level, NFL level, whatever the case may be. Like you have it in you to still go out there and make an impact, even though it's not on the field. It could be on the sidelines helping some other guys get to where you were, being a professional corner or safety, whatever the case may be. So yeah, my heart goes out to him. He's battled through so much. I mentioned this before. He had this video a couple years ago when I got into my car accident, and it was called The Comeback, where it showed where he was injured, and you fall down 9 times, you get back up 10, and that was a video I would watch showing him after injury, and before and after injury, how he came back and played a good season. And that's a video I'd always watch for motivation, because I always was like, man, they told me I wouldn't be able to walk for almost 8 months, whatever the case may be, but it didn't happen. I motivated myself by watching that video and getting up and going to physical therapy and working out and doing stuff to get me to walk in 3 months instead of 8. So yeah, so his video was an inspiration to me. So I hope that, like I said, I hope he just keeps his head up and know that life isn't over. Like I said, whatever he decides, I'm going to support him. He's been a great teammate from all accounts. So, yeah, it's just unfortunate that it had to end this way, and now he doesn't get to play another season. I mean, he played one game last year, or he didn't even get to finish a game, and now he didn't get to play at all in 2022. So you're looking at it; he's pretty much going to miss 2 full seasons now.
Yeah.
So,
It's crazy. And
yeah.
a lot of the players, a lot of the interviews that I've watched, and even the interview with Shanahan, they talked about, how it was out on the field when it happened. Shanahan talked about how Brett knew right away that that's what it was. As
Mm,
soon as he stepped and felt it happen, like he knew exactly. Obviously having been through the injuries, like sad that like me, if I were to tear my Achilles, I would have no clue what the hell was wrong with me,
mm-hmm,
but him having been through it, unfortunately, of course he knows. And he said, that the field just got silent, and that he had to ask the team, like, do you guys want to even finish practice, or do you want to call it for the day? And the team decided, that they would finish practice because, a lot of the players spoke on it, and, like, it sucks to have to say it, but like you got to move on. Like that's the only way
mm-hmm.
to get past something like that. The team still has to play, like there's players on that field that still have to play. So, they have to move on and get over it, unfortunately. But yeah, it just sucks to him. Like my heart and prayers, everything go out to him.
Yeah.
Want to say what's up to those that have joined. 49er Media, 49er Minded, Tanya, Christy, I think Melissa, Celts Chronicles. What's up, fam? You guys are all doing well. No worries. I appreciate you stopping in. Good to see you. Um, yeah, I mean, but on the other side of the injuries, coming, you said, like we had talked about, that this bye week came at a perfect time, it felt like, because the day that the players came back to practice after the bye week, like we got the reports, that there was a lot of players coming back, and players I wasn't even expecting. Like Aziz is going to be back. I wasn't expecting him to be back yet, but Returning to the 49ers roster this weekend, wide receiver Debo Samuel, wide receiver Juwan Jennings, Juice, Elijah Mitchell, Colton McKivitz, Dre Greenlaw, Aziz, and Jordan Willis. So that's huge,
Yeah.
especially all the injuries that this team's had up until this point, and it just felt like we couldn't even get through games, without
Mhm.
losing so many players. And then we go, take care of business with the Rams and beat them and make it through the game healthy.
Yes.
On top of then going into the bye week and the players all get to rest, get to rehab, and now like I'm so excited to see like we got all of our wide receivers coming back. Juice is going to be back. Elijah Mitchell, like if we can get the Elijah Mitchell or better that we had last season with Christian McCaffrey plus the young guys, waiting in the wings, like this offense is going to be, oh my God. So I can't I can't even picture like what Kyle's going to even be able to come up with because it's like endless possibilities, right? Like
Yeah, absolutely.
and to have all of our linebacking core on the field together, like all three starters is huge too. Um and the guys have done great filling in, but to have actually Greenlaw, Aziz, and Fred Warner all on the field, that's huge. How are you feeling overall getting all these guys back? Because the Chargers too, on top of it, are hella hurt.
Yes.
Like we're getting a lot of people back, and they have a lot of players out. Like they're
Yes.
without both their top wide receivers. A lot of guys on the defensive side. Joey Bosa is out. You know, um, they're beat up, and
They
somehow
are beat up.
they're managing to still go out there and get it done somehow.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, your thoughts overall getting all these guys back?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pumped up. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I feel like the way, we ended that game last week, or the week before, I should say, the way we beat the Rams. And I get it. It was the Rams and this and that, but it still causes you to go in with momentum into the next game. So I'm excited, and it sucks for the Chargers, but at the same time, we've been injured so much. I can't sit here and say I feel bad for them because our team has been one of the most hurt teams I feel like in the last 2 3 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, for them to not have Keenan Allen and all this stuff, I feel good. But yeah, I don't think there should be any excuses. I'm glad we're playing on a Sunday night game. Like it's gonna be all eyes on us. And yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, for us to have back all our wide receivers, Juwan Jennings coming back, Debo, we have our offensive weapon that they want to call him, and Kyle Juszczyk coming back. Like Kyle should be sitting back. His game plan should be epic. Like he should just sit there and just, with all the injuries they have, just sit there and pinpoint all the weaknesses and say, I'm taking advantage of this, taking advantage of that. And somebody just mentioned JC Jackson is out too. So, Debo or Ayuk, whoever it is, should go out there and just eat. You know what I mean? It's funny because we mentioned all these guys and we still haven't said anything about Kittle. You know what I mean? So that's another guy. It's just so yeah, we should. I mean, I have my high hopes. I'm looking positive. This is to be honest, this is probably the most positive I've been since before in week one. Like you had mentioned before the season, like when Trey was healthy and everything, we're like, man, this is excited I've been about this 49ers team in a long time because we had everybody was pretty much healthy at that point. Our defense was looking stellar in OTAs and training camp. So now we're looking at it as like, and after Trey got hurt, I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of down in the dumps for a while. Like, man, like what's gonna happen? And all this and that. But now, like I feel like and it's funny, it's just one player, but Christian McCaffrey, I've always been a huge fan of his. Love that guy. Like, he was one of the guys I've always tried to fight for, before these injuries started hitting up with in fantasy football, whatever the case may be. Like the guy is just so dynamic. And you and I said this, I think, on our last show, with him and a healthy Debo, you can argue those are the two top offensive weapons in football when healthy because they can do so much, whether it's in the backfield, whether it's lining up a wide receiver, like those two are just such epic playmakers when they have the ball. Like you have to pick your poison when it comes to who you want to really focus in on. If you want to focus in on a Debo and Christian, we have Brandon and George Kittle and all these other guys, Juwan Jennings, who can tear you up as well. So, yeah, I feel like there's no excuses now. We're coming back healthy. Offensive line is coming back healthy. Playmakers on defense, offensive weapons. Should be no excuses. There's no excuse. There's no reason why this team can't score at least 24 or more points a game. Like it should be at the minimum scoring 24. So yeah, I'm excited. And like I said, I feel like I have like a new what's the word I want to use? I don't anyway, I just feel as excited as I was before the start of week 1. I just feel like this team is stacked, healthy at the right time, and we can go on a serious run to get that six ring. So
Yeah. Talk about McCaffrey for a second. I was listening to somebody talk. I want to say maybe Collinsworth or one of them. And they were talking about how McCaffrey, they compare him to Travis Kelsey in the regards that, it always seems Mahomes can just scramble, 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 run around, run around, run around. And if he just gives Kelsey enough time, Kelsey's going to find a spot to get in and be there open. No matter the other team knows they only need to guard Kelsey, right? They could have 3 guys on him, and somehow Kelsey runs around enough and just finds the perfect spot to be able to turn around, get the ball, and make a play, right? And they said that that's because they have such high football IQ that they understand. They see the game from like a quarterback's eyes, knowing that, hey, I see my quarterback's in trouble. I know the defense is going to be doing this to guard me, so I need to get over here because there's going to be an open spot there for me to turn around and let the quarterback just get the ball to me.
yeah.
And I think that we saw exactly that within the Rams game, right? Like, it's just the smarts that guy plays with is just
Mhm.
amazing. And like, as much as like, we love Elijah Mitchell,
Mhm.
there's so much that having McCaffrey on this team too is going to teach Elijah Mitchell, about being a better running back, about having those smarts on the football field, to be able to watch and learn, plus learn, from the guy's mouth, like what to do, like,
Yeah.
I just think, the people that are still I'm hearing people call in to like Grant's show today and say that they're still don't like that we made the McCaffrey trade and this and that, and it's just like, I cannot see anything bad like about this situation, other than, knock on wood, if he were to go down and get an injury.
Exactly.
That's what obviously would make this trade bad. But I mean, that can happen with anybody. You can't
Absolutely.
like, you're just gonna sit around and be scared because of injuries, like, and we see that. We see this happen with players all around the league, and that's something I want to get into as well about this, about the players talking about the turf.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And here's the thing
like, I
too.
just
It's
can't
like,
see that it
mhm.
could be a bad thing having McCaffrey
Yeah.
on this team.
I totally agree. Like I don't see where you can sit there and be like, and I understand people are worried about, well, we gave up too much draft capital. Well, here's the thing about it. Without having draft capital, that just gives you more money in your pocket for free agents. So you don't have to worry about paying a first round pick. You don't have to be paying on a second round pick. You can use that on getting a veteran offensive lineman because we talked about Mike McGlinchey. Who knows if he's going to be here or not? But if you can shore up that offensive line, with the right tackle, I'd rather spend some money on a veteran right tackle who I know can play in this league than going and using somebody like maybe a rookie offensive tackle who may struggle. You know what I mean? So because like we said, this team is so stacked. Like I'd rather us put in what we have put in, and you're correct. Only way this trade is terrible is if Christian McCaffrey, cross our fingers, like he goes down. Other than that, I don't see why you wouldn't be happy with trading somebody who's arguably top 3 offensive weapon when healthy in this league. This really has no weaknesses in this game. And the fact that, he sat there, because I said it before. I totally think that he can be a full time wide receiver, slot receiver if he wanted to be. That's how good his route running is. That's how good his hand is. His hands are. I mean, he's such a smart player. And the fact that he goes out there and has this epic game, he still comes out and says, "I left some plays on the field." Like he wasn't even satisfied with the
Yeah.
performance he had. He felt like he could have did some more out there, which any 95% of the players would have been like, "Yeah, I went out there and scored 3 touchdowns. I'm happy, blah, blah, blah." He was humble. He didn't sit there and brag and be like, "Yeah, this is that." He was just like, "I left some plays on the field." So that's a kind of dog in the players that you want. You know what I mean? To sit there and say, yeah, I went out there and scored 3 touchdowns, but so what? I could have done X, Y, and Z, and maybe I could have had 4 or 5. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, it's an awesome pickup. You know, him, Debo, Kittle, Ayuk, Jennings, check, like the list goes on. And if Elijah Mitchell is your second string back if healthy, you're in a great position. You know, we all thought he did great last year as a rookie, being a 6 round pick with no fumbles, having over 1,000 yards while missing some games still. You know what I mean? So the fact that you can spill him, maybe give him about 10 carries a game and keep Christian McCaffrey fresh, or giving him 10 carries a game and then using. Because I'm gonna be honest here, I love me some Juwan Jennings. I know we call him third and Jennings, but if there's a situation where you're like, okay, I want to give Christian McCaffrey some rest at wide receiver. I mean, at running back. So I'm going to put in Elijah Mitchell. I would love to have a trio out there of Debo, Ayuk, and McCaffrey in the slot at wide receiver, and Elijah Mitchell as your tailback for a few plays. Like that right there would just be, like I said, crazy. And then also he got Kittle lined up at tight end. So that the possibilities of this offense are endless. I truly believe that we're gonna go into like a win streak. There is a couple tough games coming up. Like this game's not even a gimme in my opinion, and I get it. We have, you know, they're hurt and stuff, but man, I feel like the we can literally still go, like we said in our show during the bike with Jesse and Polo and Pete, that even though we're 4-4, I still believe that there's that 11-6 is a possibility. So
Yeah. Christy says, "Thank you again, Mariah, for the awesome cards. My youngest son took them to school for show and tell." That's
oh,
awesome.
that's
Yeah,
awesome.
I love that.
That's amazing. I like that.
Um, what's up to those that have joined? Joel, good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Um, I thought I had saw somebody else, but maybe not. Oh yeah, David Villa. What's up? What's up? And speaking of, well, let's go ahead and do a giveaway, and then we'll
Okay.
talk a little bit about what's going on with the players and the turf. So go ahead and enter your numbers in the chat, 1 through 100. We're showing Elijah Mitchell some love today since he's coming back. So we're going to do 2 giveaways. Each one gets 2 cards. Brandon Ayuk and Elijah Mitchell for both of them. And then, of course, we still have, if you guess the number exactly right, the Diamador Lenore auto up for grabs as well. So good luck, everybody. So yeah, on Twitter, there's been a lot of players that, we talk about a lot, this whole issue with the turf. And, I'm always talking about how, like, something more, like, it shouldn't have to it shouldn't have had to come to this, but the players have to do something. Like, they need to
Hmm.
either stand up, or the NFLPA, somebody has to stand up and say the players are not going to play. They refuse to play on this turf. So either you don't have a football team to roll out there and play, or you put grass out there. Like,
Hmm.
one way or the other. Like, there has to be, you have to make a stand for it, because enough's enough. And I saw that a lot of players had come out today, and I don't know why today, whatever, but they're all talking about it, and then hashtag safer fields at the end. Um, and this is anywhere from Cooper Kupp, Nick Bosa, George Kittle, David Bakhtiari,
Hmm.
Randall Cobb, Gabe Davis, Darius Slayton, J.C. Treader, like so many. Alex Mack even posted something. Solomon Thomas, Julian Love. So many players are coming forward and saying something like, that if you guys cared about us, then you guys would put grass out. We're sick of seeing and going through all these injuries that are occurring on turf. Um, and like, and this is something like I'm always talking about, right? And so, like, I even
Hmm.
put out a tweet and I said, make these teams have to do something. These athletes deserve better, right? Hashtag safer fields. And within 30 seconds of me putting that tweet out, NFLPA liked the tweet. So, obviously that means they're out there paying attention, so maybe this is what it's going to take for them finally to make a stand. We talked about this. The NFLPA has to get involved. They're supposed to be the ones that stick up for these players, that protect these players, that fight for these players. Then why haven't you done it up until this point? And okay, now go and do it. You see that all these players are coming forward and saying something, which they shouldn't have to. They talk about that these soccer players from, Europe and all over other countries, that they have in their contracts that they will not play on artificial fields. It has to be grass. And a lot of the players came out today and said, when these soccer games come to play in the United States, these teams that normally roll out turf for their NFL team, but want the soccer teams to come and play in their stadium, put grass out there for the soccer players. And then when it's time for the football players to come back out, they put the turf back out. So if you can do it for the soccer players to come over here and play, why can't you do it for your own team that plays in that stadium every single fucking week? Like, it's ridiculous, and like, I just really hope that something gets done. It's, and I had put out a tweet like last week or the week before and had somebody come at me, and because I said that, like the players need to take a stand, like something needs to be done. And like, he came after me like, oh, well, the players shouldn't have to. Well, no shit. Like, I know that, like, I'm not like, I hate when people like on Twitter will come at you like, we're fighting the same fight here. Like, why are you coming at me because you don't like the way something's worded or whatever, like, it's so stupid. Like, no shit. I know the players shouldn't have to, but we're at this spot and nothing else is getting done. So obviously they need to, whether they have to or not, they need to. So I really hope that, this kicks the talk going, at least, gets these teams into action, something, and all it is going to take from one team has to come forward and say, okay, we're going to do the right thing. And then the next team, follow in suit and just make it fucking right. Like, these are billion-dollar athletes playing on your field, making you billions of dollars.
Yes.
Like, do what's right.
Yeah. And I hate the people that come out and say, "Oh, these athletes just need to keep their mouth shut and just play," and all this other stuff. But it's like that's no different from any job. If I'm in an unhealthy working condition, I'm going to say something about it. You know what I mean? Like, if I feel like
Yeah.
I'm not going to be safe, whatever the case may be. So, and you're right, and I'm glad that a lot of these athletes are starting to come out. I feel like it's more and more every single week. But I think when it comes down to it, it's not going to change unless they all get together and just say, you know what, we need to stand together firmly and just say we're not playing this next home game. You know what I mean? Because you can sit there and just like at any job, you can sit there and complain all you want, but if you're still showing up to work every day and doing your job, they're gonna be like, oh, he just complaining or she's just complaining, whatever the case may be. But if you all take a stand and you all say, you know what, you you have a strike, or you all just say, you know what, you don't care about me and my safety or my health, whatever the case may be, I'm gonna mess with your bottom dollar. I'm gonna
Yeah.
stand. I'm gonna not sit there and not play. But you have to do it as a team, and I get it, because there's a lot of people who are scared that, oh, if I don't play, I don't get a paycheck, and I understand that. But so it's hard to tell somebody make. It's easier telling somebody who's making 25 million a year to sit out a game than somebody who's
Yeah.
making league minimum. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. But if you get 70, you have to have a certain amount of players who come out to play every week. So if out of the 53-man roster, if you have 75% of them that say, "Hey, I'm not playing," and then you have to forfeit the game, then so be it. You take that loss, and you're messing with the owner's bottom line. So like you said, like Christy said in the comments, they can absolutely afford it, and that's shameful that if what you're saying is correct about oh, when the soccer players come, they roll out real grass, and then as soon as the soccer players leave, they remove it to put in turf. Like, that's not fair. Like, like you said, you
Yeah.
got players who are invested in your business, who come there and play, practice and play for you every single week, but then somebody comes from England or whatever, and you say, "Oh, you can play on my field. I put out the best grass for you to go out to play, so there's no injuries." Like, that's a slap in the face.
Yep. What's up, David? I agree. I thought somebody else. Oh yeah, Swan. What's up, Swan? He was too busy for us for a while, but now he's back. Yes, whatever. Bash, this chair is actually not that great. It's, well, I need a new one. It's really worn out. I'm trying to get like a like one of those gaming chairs or a more back supportive chair. Because this one, it was cool once upon a time, but it's hella old. So yeah, those that have joined new, we're doing a giveaway right now. If you want to scroll up a little bit and see what numbers have been entered already, and go ahead and enter your numbers. I'll give you guys a little bit more time. Um, I saw, I think it was Throwback had said something about Kinlaw. Thinks Kinlaw's done, and that is something that happened this week too. Kinlaw got put on IR, or no, he's been on IR. Has he?
Yeah, he's been on
Was
IR.
he on IR already?
I
All
believe
right.
I believe he
So
was.
then, no. Shanahan was asked about Kinlaw possibly coming back to play. I guess he could possibly play in the Mexico game. And Shanahan, and we talked about this too, like the traveling. Like, why make the guy travel if that's what irritates shit? Like, especially to Mexico. So, and Shanahan said that, that if he would, it would just be the traveling and the elevation and all this other stuff. Um, but he did make it seem like it is obviously a slight possibility, but more likely the game after. But yeah, I'm not holding my breath that Kinlaw returns.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
totally agree. I don't know what to say. And you know what's funny? I can't even be mad at Javon Kinlaw. It is not his fault at all. I blame it on the organization. You knew what you were getting into. I don't know if it was just arrogance to be like, well, I feel like our medical staff can fix this, and he'll be able to automatically get better. Which we've said this millions of times. A man with chronic knee issues, usually it doesn't go away, especially when you're that size. Dude is 6'5", 320, and he's
Yeah.
walking on those chronic knees. That's just I don't see how you can assume that's gonna get better. I don't care how many times you've cleaned it up. Obviously, it's not working. Obviously, I mean, he can't even fly somewhere as close as Colorado without it being an issue. And you want him to fly to like East Coast and, oh, let's go to Charlotte and let's go to Tampa Bay. It's just, you know what I mean? It's just so hard. So I feel bad for the guy too. We talked about Jason Verrett earlier. Like, I feel bad for the guy too because the expectations that were put on him,
Mhm.
knowing he had those chronic knee issues. I mean, you know, if you drafted him the third round or something, people probably wouldn't be talking about it as much. But the fact that you let go of DeForest Buckner and you draft him to replace him, an All Pro D tackle, top five at his position, and you let him go to bring in this guy who hasn't really made an impact on this team, it's not fair to him. So people can get mad. Oh, he's a buzz. I can't stand. Whatever. He can't control his injuries. He can't control the chronic knee issues. You know what I mean? You have them or you don't. So it's just unfortunate, like I said, for him to be put in this position where he had to step in and be the man for somebody who was a beast for us and DeForest Buckner. Hold on, friend. My dog is barking. For it to be like DeForest Buckner, and then two, like our medical staff, for even putting a top 15 pick, taking a top 15 pick on somebody with chronic knee issues. That's to me is reckless. You should have never done that in the first place. So
Yep. Let's draw the winner for this giveaway, and then we'll get into some score predictions. Good luck. Good luck. 26. Let me see. I don't know. This never wants to show up. I think if I turn the thing, 26. Let's see here. Mhm. Scroll up here. Oh, Christy. Christy.
again, were you ever hear my? Did you hear my dog barking while I was talking?
A little, not really.
A little bit. I went to go get her because she was acting a fool. And as soon as I went after her, she took off running. She knew she was in trouble.
Congrats, Christy. I'll package these up. They'll be mailed out whenever next time I send out giveaways. Everybody's giveaways should have been mailed out. If you didn't get yours, you probably only have like one card. So I didn't want to just, waste time to mail that out. So I let it stack up a little bit. Everybody else's all giveaways were mailed out.
Mm-hmm.
Congrats. And then real quick, I know that some of you, follow us on Twitter and know, but not everybody's on Twitter, that when we're doing a 500 sub giveaway. Whenever we get there, we're going to give away, the winner can pick either one of these, autographed Fred Warner or autographed Elijah Mitchell. You'll have your choice of one of these once we get to 500 subs. And then 1,000 subs, we're doing a jersey giveaway. I had put it as a Talanoa jersey, but if you don't want a Talanoa jersey, you can pick whatever jersey you want. You know, to have a
Tabor
Talanoa
Pepper,
jersey if you
whoever
don't
you
want.
want.
Yeah.
Get yourself a Tabor Pepper, Robbie Gold, whoever you want.
Yeah. What's up, Avion, Chrissy? Appreciate you guys stopping in. So yeah, let's do some score predictions. Before we went on to the bye week, Tanya won the last score prediction, and she had guessed correctly, like the exact score. So I had already sent out her winnings, but congrats again to you, Tanya. She got some more higher class winnings and she guessed exactly right. Because that's hard. Not she's the first
Yeah.
person that's done that so far. Like we probably won't see that again.
Yeah, probably not.
You want to start with yours? You guys can go ahead
Yeah.
and drop your score predictions in the
Yeah.
chat.
And Avion, we will not be at the Raider game, but we are renting out a sports bar to hang out with everybody to watch the Raider game. And I won't. We'll come up with more details as the time goes on, but we have some raffles. We have a raffle we're going to doing some giveaways, some whether it's some hats, some tumblers, whatever the case may be. So yeah, if you're in Vegas, I don't know if you are, you can still come after the game as well if you're going to go, and then because we should be at the sports bar probably all night. We have a room rented out from 12 to 5, but I don't plan on leaving. I'll probably just stay there and hang out with the faithful, and have some drinks and get hammered again, since it's the first of January. So yeah, that answers your question there. My score prediction. Okay, I fully expect this offense to have more than 24 points at least, bare minimum, every game going forward. Unless, like I said, there's something happens, some injuries, whatever. But with a fully healthy roster like this on offense with these weapons, there's no excuse that we shouldn't. We should be scoring at least 3 touchdowns a game and a field goal. At least at the bare minimum. We should probably be scoring more, but obviously there's going to be some games here and there where we're not going to be able to take care of business. But I would say Niners are going to win 31-23.
Yeah. And the thing is that, yeah, we could talk about, that they're without their top two wide receivers, but the wide receivers down the line have stepped up. And with a quarterback like they have in Herbert, as long as they don't have total bricks for hands, it's,
Yeah.
Plus Eckler, like he's like another McCaffrey out there. So
Yeah, he's good. He's really
yeah.
good.
So yeah, they definitely can still put up points even though they're without their two guys. I mean, because they've been without one of them the entire season and the other one most of the season. So
yeah,
and they're still lost. I think they've lost 3 games.
I think they're 5-3 still, even with all the injuries.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which puts them second in that division that we were so worried about playing before the start of the season, right? Because they were supposed to be the best division in the league. And all the injuries they've had, and they still are second place in their division.
However, we're 0-2 against that division.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I think I'm going to go with, I think I'm going to say 31-13, 49ers.
Okay.
Because that's getting, I mean, we're getting guys back on our defense, but obviously we know we're still out without our number 2 cornerback. We're we only have 1/4 of our defensive line starting, which is Nick Bosa of the entire starting defensive line. So I mean, we're still pretty beat up as ourselves, but I just think that now the offense can finally, even if the defense can't, play lights out like they were in the first couple weeks, the offense can actually now still put up points,
Yeah.
So if the defense isn't stopping the other team, and this is with any team that we play down the line, if the defense isn't stopping them, completely, and they're putting up points, at least the offense can keep up now. Like we were worried the first few weeks, like, is this offense going to be able to hang in there? Like, can they do something? And now with the addition of McCaffrey, like they definitely can. And it's crazy that one person can make that much of a difference. But I mean, we already saw in just one full week here, what he did. Let me see. Let me catch up.
Hey, Denise.
Hey, Denise. We're doing score predictions, Denise, if you want to drop yours. I don't want to miss anybody. Now my pen wants to die. Can some of y'all get some shorter names here because, you're making my pen die, my hands cramping. Just going to have 2-letter names. Tanya guessed 3417. Let's see if she's correct again. She didn't win me no lotto money, so I guess her picking's not that great. Dang, I forgot that I had wrote some people's names in already, and I'm still adding them at the bottom. Like Tanya's the very first person, and I still added her at the bottom.
Hey, Tanya, I want to thank you again for donating to that GoFundMe for the house fire that my woman's daughter had up in Reno.
Tanya's the best.
Yeah.
So we have this group chat, with a bunch of us.
4213.
On Twitter, and Tanya, being the most amazing person that she is, like, do you guys mind if I send you something for Christmas? Like, she's just such an awesome person.
She is.
Like, none of them deserve shit. She
I
wants to
deserve
send them
something.
presents.
No, I'm just playing.
No, just send us theirs. Yeah. We're better behaved.
Yeah, Tanya's cool.
I'm almost caught up here, I think. Let's see. Avion says, I hope we win the division this year, finish second half of the season strong. If you would have told me coming out of the bye that the Seahawks were leading this division, like, I would have never believed you in a million years.
No. 6-3. And well, too, just like we talked about on the show with our panel, everybody used to laugh at the NFC East because, it'd be like one team that was good, but man, they're killing it. Like the Cowboys only lost 2 games, the Giants lost 2 games, the Eagles are undefeated. I used to sit there and call them the NFC least, and I can't do that now. They're killing, like they're the best division of football right now as far as record goes.
Yeah, they might be the division that has the most teams make it to the playoffs. Like, that's crazy. The division that normally, they can't get past freaking 8-8.
Yeah. You got 9-8 making playoffs in that division for the most part. And
I hated that. Like, that's shitty.
Yeah, but
I hate when the playoff seeding comes down like that.
Yeah, I think the two teams that have shocked me the most this year are the Giants, because everybody wrote off Daniel Jones, saying that he's not going to do anything, and the fact that they're 7-2 right now is crazy. You know what I mean? Or 6-2, wherever they are. And then, like you said, the Seahawks, like Geno Smith. Everybody laughed, and they made a mistake with Russ, and he's the worst quarterback in the division. But hey, look, Pete Carroll showing his coaching ability, and like Miriah said, going into Week 10, the fact that they're in first place by 2 games is crazy to me.
Yeah. Yeah. And the Rams, God,
terrible.
They look terrible. Like, man, it's normally, like to talk about Super Bowl hangovers and this, and like usually not for the team that wins. Like normally the team that loses the Super Bowl like gets terrible afterwards, like for them to win the Super Bowl and be this freaking terrible, like
Hmm.
man, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's laughable. I love it.
Um Denise had a rough week, I know. I hope you're doing better, sis. Hope you're feeling better. I know the flu and everything's bad out there, so I hope everybody's keeping well. We need to have you guys all here well, ready for the Super Bowl run. And then, you talked about the Vegas trip. I had somebody reach out to me this weekend who will be joining us, and Miss Debbie Deb. She's going
Oh,
to be
nice.
coming to the event. So,
Okay.
yeah. Um, so that would be awesome. So everybody that's
That's
coming will
yeah.
get to meet her that haven't. Um,
Okay.
she's
I've
the
never met
queen
her
of the
yet.
49er faithful. Oh,
That's
yeah, you
awesome.
haven't.
I've never met her.
Yep.
No.
Yeah. So she's coming. She had asked me about a few different rooms. Like I told her wherever she stays, we'll make sure that she gets there. So,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah. She needs right from the airport or stuff like that.
Yeah. Avion wants to know about the info. We're going to be
Yeah.
putting out a flyer once, I'll probably work on it this week, but if you want to DM TL or
Yeah.
if you don't
Is he
have,
on Twitter? Are you on Twitter?
socials.
Yeah. Yeah. Just hit me up, Avion, and then I'll get you all the info. And it's only to get in the event is only $40. So
Hey, Troy. I hope you're doing well, brother. Good to see you. Happy Saturday. Anybody else that wants to drop their score predictions that haven't yet, go ahead and do so. And then we'll go ahead and do a giveaway and get on out of here. Get you guys ready to watch the game. Oh, you know who? I did see an interview with Kalia Davis
mm,
that was done yesterday or the day before. And they had asked him, how rehab was going, and should we expect to see you this season, or are you completely shut down until next season? And he said that rehab's going good and you should expect to see him soon.
oh, nice. I've been
Yep.
looking forward to seeing him.
Yeah, so I was like, that'll be awesome if we can get him back. They were like, they were talking to him about, like, I guess he had switched from linebacker to defensive line, and they asked him the reason or whatever, and he said, well, because when he was playing linebacker, he gained so much weight that they told him you can either play defensive line or you have to lose weight if you want to stay playing linebacker. And he
Yeah.
said it was just easier to switch positions and lose weight.
Yeah.
So, um,
Yeah, it's
but
funny you say that because I remember when he first came out, he kind of reminds me of a DJ Jones clone a little bit, except he's more quick twitched as far as like his movements. I feel like he's more athletic. So yeah, that's a perfect, him coming back would be perfect for this roster. So that makes sense.
yep.
I never knew he was a linebacker, so that makes sense because I was looking at this guy and I was like, man, this dude, like, he's so athletic and so fluid in his movements as a D tackle. But now that you say he was a linebacker, that makes perfect sense.
And he was saying that he watched, like, making the switch and like getting him prepared for the position, that he watched a lot of, oh, what's his nuts on the Rams?
Aaron Donald.
Yeah. Who? Yeah, Aaron Donald. That he watched a lot of him and, like, tried to model his game, after
Yeah.
Aaron Donald. So I'm like, fuck, if we can even get 75% of the player that Aaron Donald is,
Yeah. You know who he
freaking
reminds me
50% of
of?
the player.
You know what he reminds me of? Like more instead of a DJ Jones. Do you know that guy for the Bills named Ed Oliver?
Yeah.
That D tackle. Like he reminds me of
Hmm.
him. Somebody who can just like he can like Ed Oliver plays D tackle, but he literally he's so athletic. Like I see him stand up sometimes and he rushes the Panther standing up. He goes out in coverage, and I can see that being done with Collier Davis because he's so athletic. So yeah,
Yeah.
if we can get Aaron Donald, I mean, like just 75, even 70% to Aaron Donald's potential, or maybe even close to a Ed Oliver, I'm happy with that because and we all know, those fifth and sixth round picks for us usually are pretty good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's his nuts?
Denise says she's headed to urgent care in an hour. She can't shake
Yeah.
crap.
I hope
Prayers are with you,
everything's all
sis.
right.
Please keep me updated on what's going on. Slide in the DMs, girl. Okay.
I drink a lot of
All
Pedialyte
right.
too. I
Let's
know
do
it
a
sounds
giveaway.
funny, but yeah,
Enter your numbers. Enter your numbers.
I agree, Troy. He's due for a big game. Debo been a
I
little
mean,
quiet.
defenses, there's no way they can block everybody. So somebody has to
No.
have a big game, you know? It's just
Hmm.
like pick your poison. Who's it going to be the one that,
Who goes off this game or whatever? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's like now defenses are going to be keying in, try to stop McCaffrey, and then you have Debo and Ayuk and everybody else,
Hmm.
Mitchell, and it's like they can't stop everybody. So
Which I feel like I think you're right. I think that's what's going to happen. I think the Chargers are going to key in on McCaffrey because they're going to go off the last game and look at the film and just be like, okay, we need to stop this guy because we know everybody knows Kyle likes to run the football. They're going to focus on him and somebody like Debo or somebody like like you said, IU kid is gonna have a bigger game. Babe, you got to pick a different number. It's already taken.
no guessing from the other room.
Her and Denise both put 23.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting game. Yeah, I'm excited again. Get Mariah. Like I said, I was pretty bummed out, and then I was just wondering. And like I said, I'm not sitting here and I'm not saying I'm not happy. Like we're gonna do whatever we got to do. But Trey's injury really bummed me out.
Yeah.
I was just so like down in the dumps and like, oh my god, like I can't believe this is happening. But hey, we're at the halfway point now. I mean, we're 4-4. I really believe this run that we're gonna have is gonna take off. What we have, we have 9 games left. We go 7-2 in the second half of the season. We're in good shape.
Yep. And when you actually break down and look at the schedule, I mean, it's doable.
Yeah,
And then for us to actually make it into the playoffs, I mean, that's what it's going to take too. You're
yeah,
going to be getting in with
yeah.
no shitty record. There's
Especially just like you said about the NFC least and their records. Like they might
yeah,
have three people they might have 3 teams going to the playoffs, which means that the wild card spots are going to be taken. So it might come down to us having to win the division. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy. Hey David, did you ever get your 49ers cards? I know I sent them a while back, but I haven't heard from you and we haven't done a show in a while. So yeah, those hurt. I feel like the Bears game and that Broncos game hurt us the most.
Yeah.
Games that we should have won,
Yeah, that's the ones that are tough. Like the
yeah,
ones you go into the game knowing like you should win this game
yeah.
and
Yeah, 'cause, like I feel like Atlanta just flat out beat us. They were just a better team that day, but like the Bears game, that was we should have never lost. And then too,
no.
like you said, that Broncos game. I mean, our offense scored more, scored enough points to win, but then that safety, just put it over the top. So it's crazy.
And like it's crazy with that division how shitty, like everybody thought, oh, finally the Broncos are going to get their missing piece with the
Hmm.
quarterback, and like they look like complete shit. And then the
Yeah.
Raiders, holy hell,
Oh
like
my God,
man, they
that
can't do
team's
anything right. Like
that
I
team's in
hate that I'm stuck
disarray.
watching that freaking team every Sunday, like
Yeah,
that
no.
that's the team that's on our freaking TV living in
That's why
Vegas.
that's why I'm glad I have the ticket. I'm like, oh, I can watch whatever game I want because
Yeah.
because these dudes, man, and there's so much of a mess right now. Like it seems like they're not coached very well. They got top weapons again that are hurt. Hunter Renfro's not playing, so it's crazy. And it's funny because that's the team Devontae Adams wanted to go to so bad
Yeah.
because it was his childhood team, and because he's from East Palo Alto, he's from the Bay Area, so he wanted to go there. And now this team, I mean, don't get me wrong, the Packers don't look good either,
No. It's
but
crazy that they're both doing shit,
they're both terrible. Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, good, David. Thanks
But
for the
man,
update.
like Carr just can't like you think. I mean, we watched for so many years that Aaron Rodgers just got away with throwing the ball up and just giving Devontae Adams a chance.
Yeah,
Like, and it seems like Carr just can't figure that out. Like, I don't know what the deal is. It's like I don't know. Like, why are you not throwing to your number one weapon every chance that you get?
yeah.
Like, he's just so trash. they're gonna have to move off a car
Yeah.
pretty soon.
I love to see it because all these fake Raiders fans out here that jumped on them just because now they're. I hated so many of my coworkers. Well, I have to root for the Raiders now. They're in Vegas, and like I'm not
Hell
rooting
no.
for them. Like I don't
Hell
care
no.
where they play at. I'm not rooting for them. I don't care if they're in Vegas.
Yep.
But so many people have, and you probably saw that at the casino as well. Well, I'm a Raiders fan now because man, miss me with that.
Hey, Bryant, we're in the middle of a giveaway. If you want to scroll up and see what numbers have been entered, and you can go ahead and enter yours. Yeah, like if you were that, if you could switch that easily to be a Raiders fan, then like you were never a true fan of whatever team you claimed
Yeah.
before that.
Yeah. Now, if there's people who never had a team and was like, okay, I'm gonna root for them now because they're okay, that's fine. But the people who were like, oh yeah, like I'm a Seahawks fan or whatever. Now, oh, I'm gonna root for the Raiders. They're in town, they're local. Like I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
and that means what to me? So yeah, it's crazy.
Hey, Mark, what's up? You missed the whole show. Now we're almost done. We're finishing up with the giveaway, and then we're heading out of here. But good to see you, Sean.
That's a good question, Tanya.
Sean, good to see you, brother. David says my trash is better than Josh McDaniels. Yeah, like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
amazing that these guys keep getting head coaching jobs and keep
Recycled, huh?
being
Yeah.
trash. Yeah,
Yeah, I was
and
gonna
yet you
say that
have
right
these
now. Like,
other
how does
coaches that can't even get a chance. Like,
yeah. What
sad.
is this like his third team? Because he went from the
I think
Patriots to the
his
Broncos.
second head
Yeah,
coaching.
heck and coaching job, huh? Yeah, terrible. So Tanya, to answer your question, he went to Palo Alto High. That's where Devontae Adams went to high school. And of course, he went to Fresno State for college. So
I'm glad to see you guys all have received your packages safely. You never know, especially sending, when there's high
yeah,
value cards in there. You never know that they're going to make it through
exactly.
the mail safe. So it's good. It's good. Anybody else need to enter the giveaway before I draw this? If not, I'm going to draw. And we'll be back tomorrow night. Don't forget, as soon as the game ends, we'll be here. So stop in and say hey. I know there's a lot of instant reaction shows going on. I know some wait till after the 49ers pressers to start, and some other ones
Hmm.
start immediately after. Um, and, I know you guys got to make your rounds, so just stop in and say hey. We appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a long week
Yeah,
moving. As you can see, my room's maybe like halfway done, still got boxes in it.
yeah. Well, I've received a lot of cards too that have been sent to my house. So I have a stack that's getting pretty thick. So
Yep, all the giveaway items coming in. Sean got his number in. All right, we're drawing. You'll be drunk, I'm sure, knowing you. Good luck, everybody. 84.
84. Let me see what we got in here. Nope. Don't tell me it's Christy again with 82. Hold on. No. JDLR with 85. Yep.
Trash, yep.
Man, I was close.
And I was about to say, too, like, just guess whatever around whatever Christy's guessing because she's been on a roll lately.
Man, she almost won. She almost won twice. That's crazy.
You guys need to start. Like, if she guesses 82, somebody needs to guess 81, somebody else needs to guess 83. So you guys can just cut her off. She's been hella lucky lately.
Yeah.
Let me write down these scores real quick before we get out of
It,
here.
it goes in spurts, I feel. Like it was John V for a minute. And then it went to Tia. Like Tia was killing it. And
Yep.
then lately, and then so now we got Christy, who's look at Christy laughing like, yep, Christy gonna switch it up on us.
And not one single person thinks that the Chargers are gonna win, huh?
Hmm. That kind of scares me.
I know. Is this another game like, oh, we should win this one?
Hmm.
So, JDLR, congrats. These Elijah Mitchell, Brandon Ayuk going to you. But yeah, everybody have a great game day tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll be back tomorrow night for instant reactions. Obviously, we know that Denise is under the weather, so she's obviously not going to be with us. But
Hmm.
maybe we can get
Another guest on
John
or something.
B. Maybe we
Yeah.
can get Tony.
Swan.
Yeah, one of y'all. So if there's anybody out there too that wants to come on and do the instant reaction show with us, send me a DM, reach out, and I'll send you the link once I get it made up. But yeah, thank you guys all for joining us. We appreciate each and every one of you. You know, we love you guys. Without you guys, we couldn't be doing anything. So much love,
Absolutely.
fam.
I
We
appreciate you guys,
appreciate you.
fam.
Stay safe.
Yep. Go
We'll
Niners.
see you guys tomorrow. Go Niners.